This is a tutorial for our new comp search and list features. We are introducing an updated version of the comp search and list to improve their functionality and to keep up with the latest browser technologies. CoStar users will find the look and features of the new search and list to be familiar. This tutorial will go over the different aspects of the updated functionality. Please note, some browsers don't automatically recognize that there is new code on our servers, which may cause our pages to behave strangely. If you encounter any issues, please first try hitting the Ctrl and F5 keys on your keyboard to refresh the page. Another note, this update will not remove your saved searches and sets for comps. There are a few ways to get to the comp search and list. From the home page, open the Property menu, then click on Comps. This will open the comps list in the background and a comp search filters form in front of it. From the comp search widget on the home dashboard, this will apply any filters you added via the widget and take you straight to the comps list. From a saved search for comps, on the home page, open the menu under the CoStar icon and click on Saved Searches. To run a saved search, click on the search name. We will get into more details about comp saved searches later in the tutorial. The comp search filters form is divided into sections. You can either scroll through the entire form, or you can jump to a section by clicking on the section name along the top of the form. As you add your search criteria, the number of applied filters in each section will show at the top. The top or primary section contains the most commonly used search filters for lease or sale comps. This includes filters for the property name and address. The location section contains additional geographic filters like market and submarket. The comp details section is subdivided into filters for lease, sale, and the record source. Just remember that the primary section already includes the most popular filters, such as lease rate or sale price. The property space section has filters for attributes of the building or space that was leased or sold. The contact section allows you to filter by contacts or companies that played a role in the transaction. You can specify which role or designation, for example, listing broker or client, and add as many contacts or companies to the filter as you wish. Please note, the results will only include comps which have all of the selected contacts or companies with the indicated roles. For example, if you search for John Smith as a listing broker, Sarah Miller as a listing broker, and the Home Depot Inc. as the buyer tenant, then all of the resulting comps will have both John Smith and Sarah Miller as listing brokers, and the Home Depot Inc. as the buyer tenant. The Other section replaces the Comp Advanced Search option that used to be on a separate form. You can now combine the most commonly used filters from the sections above with additional filters for almost every available building, space, or comp attribute. The same concept applies here that was described in the contact section. The results will only include comps which meet all of the selected criteria. However, pull-down fields are sort of an exception to that rule. For long pull-down lists, you can find specific entries by typing into the search field at the top of the list. This applies to any pull-down field anywhere on this form. Even though you can only add each field once to the filter criteria, pull-down fields will allow you to select multiple entries at the same time by checking the box next to each one. In this case, the results will include comps which meet any of the selected entries for that field. For example, if you select construction type and add concrete, concrete tilt-up, and concrete block as criteria, The results will include any comp with a construction type of concrete, concrete tilt-up, or concrete block. To see a list of comps which match your criteria, click the Apply Filter button. Use the Clear button to remove all of the current filters from the form. The form itself will remain open, so you can start over with your search criteria. The Cancel button will close the Comp Search Filters form and display the comps list without applying any changes. The new comp list is designed to be easier to read and use while making more information about each comp available directly in the list. It now has a spreadsheet-style layout. Depending on your settings, the first columns may stay in place when you scroll to the right, so you will always know exactly which comps are in the list as you review the additional information. When you place your cursor over the status, leased or sold, of each comp, a placard pops up with the property image and a brief summary of the comp details. Clicking on the status itself will open the full comp page in a new browser window or tab. Additional links are on the property name and any contacts or companies associated with the comp. If a company name doesn't have a link, it's because that name isn't coming from an actual company record. It's just referenced on the comp as a name. You can select individual records by checking the box to the left of each comp. Selected records will be highlighted in blue. Once your records are selected, use the Action menu at the top of the list to perform the next step. The Action menu contains many of the features you can use to process either the records you selected or the entire list of results if nothing is selected. This menu is the same as before the latest update. It includes options to create reports or exports, save a set of specific records that you can pull up again later, or add records to an existing set, include specific records from the search within the results of a new search, filter the list to include only selected records, save your search criteria so you can easily run the same search again later, perform global data or permission updates. This requires special login settings, and open the old form and list. This option will go away once the transition to the new comp search format is complete. Selecting a field in the Group By menu will group all of the records in the list under the individual values in that field. For example, if you group by status, the list will be divided into two groups, sold versus leased. Remove the grouping by opening the Group By menu again and selecting the option to Remove Group By. Each of the column headers can be clicked on to sort the list by that field. Click once to sort in ascending order, like ABC or 1, 2, 3. Click twice to sort in descending order, CBA or 3, 2, 1. When the list is sorted, an arrow will show up next to the field it is sorted by. Pointed up, the arrow means the list is sorted in ascending order. Pointed down means descending order. If you sort a list that has been grouped, the records will be sorted within each group. The grouping itself will not be removed. The View Map button towards the top right of the list displays a map of all or of the selected records in a new window that displays in front of the list. By default, only the first 25 records will have pins on the map until you click the option to Show All Pins at the top of the window. You can see how many filters have been applied to the list next to the Show Criteria option. Click on that option to see exactly which filters have been applied. You can remove a filter by clicking the X next to it. Click Apply to save your changes, or Cancel to close the selected criteria window without refiltering the list. The Filters button opens the Comp Search Filters form in front of the list. Use this option if you want to add or change filters instead of just removing some of them. You can also remove filters via this form. It's just easier to use the Show Criteria option if you only want to remove filters. At the bottom of the list are the number of search results on the left and options to navigate through the pages of results. Each page will include 25 records. One of the features being introduced with the new list functionality is the ability to customize the layout of the list. You can include or remove various fields, and you can freeze up to 3 of the first columns in the list so that they always display when you scroll the list to the right. These customizations are specific to your login and do not affect any other users. You can alter the list to see the information that is most important to you and your business. To change the current layout, click the Modify Layout link on the bottom right-hand side of the list. The customization form will appear as a pop-up window. The Available Fields column is displayed in alphabetical order, and this list represents fields that are available for you to add to the list that are not currently displayed. You can select multiple fields by holding down the Control key on your keyboard while clicking on the field names. Once you have selected a field or multiple fields, you can use the single arrows to move those fields between the available fields and the selected fields columns. One click of the double arrows will move all of the fields from one column to the other. The Selected Fields column lists the fields that will show on the list itself in the order you see here. The up and down arrows will allow you to move fields in the Selected Fields column. Select one or multiple fields and click on the up or down arrows to move those fields. The number of columns to freeze indicates how many columns will be frozen in the list so that they always display. The Default Layout button will remove any customizations and restore the list back to the default layout, but only in this window until you click the Apply Layout button. You can continue to customize the layout, apply the changes as they are, or cancel all of your changes. The Cancel button will ignore any changes made to this form, close the form, and take you back to the list. The Apply Layout button will save the changes you have made to the selected fields or number of columns to freeze. You only need to apply these changes once, and we'll see them every time you open the list going forward. Running a quick search using the Comps Search widget on the main dashboard will now return results in the new comps list. Use the Show Criteria or Filters buttons at the top of the list to see or change your search criteria. All existing and new saved searches for comps will now open the new comps list filtered by your saved search criteria. The saved searches themselves will not be changed or removed by this update. You will just see the results in the new list format. If you open a saved set for comps, you will still see the same saved set list as before. If you have any questions or would like to schedule a detailed training on this feature, please contact our support team.